FUD is officially dead in crypto, and I don't know about all of you, but I have seen so much FUD in the news as of lately. Now, if you're not familiar with what FUD is, it's news that is specifically meant to instill fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and that's where we get that FUD acronym from in the first place. But what I want to do is show everyone the lack of impact that all this supposed bad news is having on price and what's really happening in crypto behind the scenes. So if that interests you at all, make sure you stick around for the entire length of this video. Make sure to smack that like and subscribe button because we have content just like this one coming out every single week, multiple times a week. But let's go ahead and dive on in over here because as we can see on Bitcoin, it's really not doing that bad, especially in the last week or so. In fact, if we want to zoom in, Bitcoin has been relatively neutral, just kind of floating around over here in a rough 3 to 4% zone. So nothing too crazy really happening. Now, if we go over to the news, there has just been a wild series of events. There was an article published saying that Visa and MasterCard are going to be pausing their crypto push in the wake of this industry meltdown, quote unquote. Can't make this stuff up. You also have supposed crypto traders being worried about liquidity thinning on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll take a look at that too. We have Robinhood being subpoenaed by the SEC over their crypto listings in custody. And then we also have other stuff, just like the former FTX engineering director pleading guilty to criminal charges. Again, a lot of this was past news. If you were looking at FTX and thinking there was no criminal activity there, then, I don't know what to tell you. But I think what I'm trying to say here, and we'll dive into kind of sorting through everything in just a moment, but what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of this was already priced in, or it's something that we've already known about for an extended period of time, hence like this FTX article. Again, we knew that there was fraudulent and illegal activity happening at FTX as soon as everything kind of transpired, within like weeks of it happening. And here we are 4 or 5 months later, and it's like, oh, breaking news, there's criminal charges being filed, right? But let's talk about this Visa and MasterCard article, for example. Well, we had this get published and saying that Visa and MasterCard are going to be pausing their crypto push in the wake of this industry meltdown. Well, we go to another article, and that's really not the case. In fact, what we have over here is that Visa says it's not slowing down its plan for its crypto products at all, and that the payment giant still wants to grow its digital assets department, according to the company's head of crypto. So if there's anybody that knows about this, I would imagine that it is their head of crypto. And if he's saying that nothing's slowing down, then, well, articles like this are looking to not be so true at the end of the day. And there's a lot of ones out there that are like this. There was also rumors about what caused a little outage over here on Solana the other day. People were saying that it was a voting mechanism, and the Solana Foundation came out and they were like, it definitely wasn't. We don't know who's starting these rumors. But the point that we're trying to make here is that it's very easy for someone to publish an article or make a tweet and say, this is why X, Y, and Z is happening. And all of a sudden, boom, it's being picked up, it's being published, people are getting views. And it's meant to instill fear because at the end of the day, if you think that there's this big problem that you don't know about, then you're going to be clicking on these articles. You're going to be giving them views, and the better numbers that they get, the more money they're making on ads, the better numbers that they have to present to their peers, so on and so forth. And that's exactly why images like this one are used, because look, this guy's clearly afraid. He has crypto on his head and there's arrows all around him. It's meant to do exactly this. Now, if we go over and back to prices, again, Bitcoin is up almost 3% on the day over here. And look at how much it's up over the past couple of weeks, even since really this year has started. If we're going all the way to January 1st over here, guess what? Bitcoin is up around 45%. It's not bad at all. A lot of these altcoins are up anywhere from 50, 100, 200, 300%. And one of the cool things is that if we look at Ethereum, for example, this thing has been routinely making higher swing lows with a flat level of resistance. Now, any of you that follow me, any of you that kind of know what I'm going to get at here, I'm going to say that this looks like there is a squeeze happening towards the upside of Ethereum in the macro, and it looks like Ethereum eventually wants to form a breakout of this range because what this depicts is an ascending triangle. So when we're looking at this, we're looking at the macro market, everything happening behind the scenes, and what's truly happening. And the way that we see that is often through a price chart, because the price isn't gonna lie, right? We can create a really, really scary article and we can make it say whatever we want, but at the end of the day, what people are realistically buying and selling on exchanges describes to us exactly how overall sentiment truly is. And so this is just one of the ways that we can measure that. And so when we see a rising level of support, consistent higher swing lows, meaning that every time Ethereum falls, it's falling to a higher level than it previously fell, that isn't a bad sign. Again, we just had a golden cross on the 1 day of Bitcoin. We just had a golden cross on the 1 day of Ethereum. And as it is at this resistance, yeah, it definitely could reject and fall back down. We're not saying that that's out of the world of possibilities, but what I am saying is look at the bigger scheme here. People are looking at this and they're saying, look at all this scary stuff about crypto, but they're ignoring the fact that the 50-day moving average is being used as support ever since it was broken over here. Again, previous resistance now turned support. Same with the 200-day moving average after it was broken, or the golden cross that just happened, or all of the beautiful higher swing lows that we've seen since really the last like 6, 7, 8 months now, going all the way back to something like June for Ethereum. So sometimes all that we need is just a little bit of a perspective to see the overall bigger picture and what's truly happening behind the scenes. Because when we were over here, we didn't even know that FTX had happened yet. Then when FTX happened, we're looking at all of this and saying, you know, this is kind of just a speck on the chart. In fact, a lot of the losses that we had from FTX, it's already been wiped away. So that's something to kind of consider. Again, FTX happened over here around October, November, and look at where Ethereum's currently priced at. It's already back to where they're at. So people are easy to forget sometimes. And when we're looking at all this from the macro, you know, I also want to take a look at Bitcoin as well, because I know a lot of people like the Bitcoin chart. So if I pull up Bitcoin, Bitcoin's in a very, very similar boat. We're going back to where crypto was in October and November, around the time that FTX happened. And look, we're already at that level, if not higher. But the big news here, this is nothing new. If you're a part of the Crypt Nation newsletter, I'm going to reiterate just a little bit here. And if you want to be a part of that, go to cryptorevolution.com, join Crypt Nation. We publish an in-depth newsletter every single week at the beginning of the week. So this is going to be a little bit late news for those of you who aren't inside of that. But what we have over here is Bitcoin still very much inside of its consolidation zone, right? We have this area, we've been talking about it for what feels like weeks or months now, in between around 20,000 and 25,000. There's this $5,000 zone, and ever since then, what do you know? We've been going from support to resistance to support to resistance, back down towards support, which right now is looking like the 50-day moving average, as we said earlier on Ethereum, and we're really just bouncing inside of this zone. So as we're seeing this, I am personally doing two things. Again, I can't give any of you legal, financial, or tax advice, but the area of opportunity that I see here is maybe once we see a breakout of Bitcoin above here, I don't see any reason why it couldn't go to really, really close to $30,000. We've talked about this before, but there's just not a lot of resistance, right? But if we're looking in the micro over here, you know, as Bitcoin is approaching support, I am a little bit more interested in buying it. Now, granted, this could break, prices could fall further, and I am fully acknowledging that. But as Bitcoin gets closer to support, I feel more comfortable buying it. And as it gets closer to resistance, I'm saying, okay, well, let's just put that money on the sideline, wait for Bitcoin to approach another support level, because I don't really want to enter in at resistance. You know, I just think that that is the smart idea from any trader. But that's going to round us up for the bulk of this video, everyone. I wanted to just go through this news because I have been getting, and I'm sure the rest of the Crypt Nation team has been getting, so many messages about what do we think about this SEC regulation? What do we think about the future of crypto? What do we think about like all these different articles that are meant to instill FUD? You know, like what do we think about all of them? Could this impact price? And so I wanted to just make this video, put it out there, and kind of let everyone know that as someone who has been around in crypto since the very, very early days, we're talking 2012, I have seen every form of FUD and scary article that can exist out there. Stuff that is far worse than all of this, and none of it killed crypto. In fact, Bitcoin has been declared dead. I think we've shown it on the channel here. But Bitcoin has been declared dead something like 470 times from official public releases and news articles. And here we are, almost 500 declared dead times later, Bitcoin's still around from much, much worse news than what we have seen in the last couple of weeks. So I'm not nervous. I don't think that there's any reason to be nervous. A lot of this stuff is just made to sound a lot worse than it really is. But I hope all of you did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you smack that like button, smack that subscribe button, and stick around for the more videos that we have coming in the future here, because we have another one coming in a couple days on Friday. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see all of you in Friday's video.